We are going to discuss the market for common stock. First of all, we need to distinguish the corporations as privately owned and also closely held. Though it makes sense that, well, corporations are private, of course, but um, for this particular purpose, we need to understand that when I say privately owned, for the purpose is those corporation which their stocks are not listed in the any stock exchange or not publicly listed. For the closely held corporations, these are the corporations, the opposite of that, which are their stocks are publicly listed. It means to say that when you are publicly listed, anybody who is interested in buying your stocks can buy your stocks as long as you are going to sell that one at a given price. But for the privately owned corporation, you cannot own that stock from them unless they agree for you to transfer that. You cannot you don't know the price of that, so that's under negotiated because there is no market price that is published in this stock exchange. Okay, so for these common stocks are is one of the type of stocks that have a voting rights. For every shares of stocks which is common, you have a one vote. So the more that you have common stocks or common shares, the more votes that you can uh, execute to elect, like the board of directors that will do the policy making or some big decisions. Now we are going to discuss about the types of stock market transactions that are involved, that the common stocks are involved. First is this first term is the outstanding shares of established publicly owned companies that are traded, which are the secondary. So when you see outstanding shares of stocks, these are the stocks that were issued and outstanding. It means to say that there are not all of the issued shares of stocks are actually outstanding. So when you say outstanding, those are the shares of stocks that are held by the investors or by the equity holders. On the other hand, an issued shares could be not an outstanding if those shares are both by the corporation. So the corporation owned them. So nobody other than corporation is owning those stocks. Okay, so they are issued but not outstanding. Okay, I hope you get the sense of that. Second is additional shares sold by established public. So these are the shares that are sold in addition to what is already sold. Let's say um, you have like for instance the corporation has the authorized number of shares 10,000. They were authorized to issue that by the Securities Exchange Commission. Then out of the 10,000, the corporation has already issued 3,000. So there are remaining unissued of 7,000, right? Then later on, the corporation decided to issue another 1,000. So this is what it meant: additional shares of stocks. This market is considered as primary market, unlike with the what I the one that is mentioned, outstanding shares of stocks. When for those outstanding shares of stocks, as I said, those are shares that were held by the investors, right? By the shareholders. If they were transferred to the buyer, okay, again, the shares of stocks are held by the shareholders. If they were transferred to the buyer, so that particular market is what we call the secondary market. So it's already held and transferred to another parties. But for these additional shares of stocks, this is called the primary because those additional 1,000 on top of the 3,000 already issued are newly issued shares of stocks. They were not previously held by shareholders. Okay, that's the point. That's the difference. That's why it's a primary market. Okay, the third one is it's like it's also the concept is a primary market because this is the first time that the shares are issued. These are the new shares issued to the public. But however, with this particular term, initial public offering, it means to say that this particular firm or corporation was not a public corporation. It means it was a closed corporation. It means that their shares of stocks before were not listed in the stock exchange, and now they decided to be listed, and now they have this IPO. So it's a primary market. However, it is to be distinguished as an IPO, initial public offering. So I hope you get that. So these are the history below that were happening on the public offering in the recent years from the publication of this book. And yeah, and you can see. But the again, the idea is that's the idea that I was discussing. Thank you.